Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rage, and we are back today to prepare for ultimately the ever-shifting meta that is coming to Marvel Strike Force in this way. Now, it is going to be the new Fantastic Four MCU team that's going to be likely the newest, latest, and greatest team coming to Marvel Strike Force. But also, guys, I want to help you save some resources along the way because we know that the arena meta is going to shift. But as well, this team is going to have some utmost importance in all other game modes. They're going to really reshape how we understand the current meta right now in terms of the other game modes. Even some of the big events like Dark Dimension, and as well as ongoing things like the Legendary Trials, and more importantly too, just the way that we're tracking and working towards Professor Xavier in the Epic campaign here under his saga. So, for those of you that missed my other videos in the past, I want to reiterate this, guys. Franklin Richards, he's going to be the most important character coming into this team because he is going to be the huge difference maker here, especially what he has to offer in Arena. But as well, what we'll probably see is future events where we can actually activate the Arena benefits and bonuses, so that way this team operates outside of just Arena, and we'll see that likely in the future trials as well for other legendary characters, you know, rumored to be Blastar following Quasar after chapter 1 is fully concluded. Now, for those of you who are unaware, why is Franklin Richards so important? Why is he going to be such a meta-changing character that can rival some of the top mythic characters like Odin and Professor Xavier himself? Well, it all really starts off with his passive ability here. One of the key things they've been trying to take away from this game is the speed meta, right? So you can see here where Franklin is going to shine is his passive ability when he does have 2 or more Fantastic Four MCU allies, which in this case likely is going to be his mom and dad. Enemies cannot have their speed increase except by positive effects. Now this is massive. Doesn't sound like a lot, but when you take a look at the other things that are part of his passive, such as, you know, when Fantastic Four MCU uses their special ultimate, their speed bar also goes up. And then as well, this is the most important one. Until he takes a turn, they're going to be gaining 5% per Fantastic Four ally that's on his team, and in addition to that, he's also gaining an additional 45% speed for himself and all Fantastic Four. And then notably in arena setting is where him and 2 or more Fantastic MCU allies, if all the other allies are going to gain additional speed, essentially they're all going to be getting the first turn before the enemy that we're up against, right? So it doesn't really matter what arena setting they're going to be facing up against, because it's going to end up being these MCU Fantastic Four characters against one another, and then I suspect there's going to be some plug and play aspect to see who gets the first turn, and then that's going to be the deciding factor here. Now, it's not good enough that you just get the first turn. You also have to make that impact, that significant impact in the first turn, so that way you can control the match. And that's where his ultimate ability comes in, being called Starfall. Starfall here is a massive AoE attack, but what's more notable is not the damage and all the debuffs and the clearing of charges, but more importantly, he's actually going to be implying this new condition that's called Silence. And on the Marvel Strike Force website, it's not available in game, unfortunately, but on the Marvel Strike Force website, Silence essentially ensures that a character that's inflicted with this condition cannot be applying positive or negative effects, and they also cannot reduce the duration of positive effects. So essentially rendering these said enemies completely useless. And as you can see here, it can last for 2 full turns when he's doing that. So just imagine Franklin going first, and he activates this devastating ultimate on turn 1, and essentially the opposing team can't even do anything. So that's why I do think the arena meta is going to be literally a flip of a coin here to decide who's going to be getting first turn, because whoever does, Franklin Richards is going to turn that tide of battle just like that. We'll see in the coming changes here if there's going to be some way to counter this, but in the meantime, I do see Franklin Richards and Invisible Woman, and lastly Mr. Fantastic, these 3 being slotted in as the immediate arena team. So that's why I wanted to bring this to your guys' attention, because I don't know if you're planning to fully bring up the team. Don't get me wrong, it's nice to have the fully completed team, but the thing is, reality sinks in, and you know that these 2 characters are likely going to be the odd ones out. The last time we had an arena changing team like Annihilators, where they have value in all game modes, it's really Ultimus and as well Silver Surfer that kind of got the short end of the stick, right? They were the least 2 characters that got investment in, and you can actually just, you know, essentially plug and play some of the top mythic tunes that we have. Xavier, Odin, Mephisto, you name it. So that's kind of what I foresee here in the coming meta for Arena. Now, why is this important from a resource management standpoint? I don't want this to become an issue where with the Accursed team coming out, and obviously with them being required, as you can see, I don't have 3 out of the 5 members, 2 out of the 5 members unlocked. But as we kind of seen with how some of these events have been situated, I want to hopefully help you guys save some power cores and as well as some resources in the game. So what I'm doing right now is I'm hoarding all my power cores. I'm trying to accumulate as much as I can, so when Franklin does come, he is going to be a day one unlock for me. I'm unloading all my power cores on him. Now, the other important thing to consider here is the free-to-play events that do come. Remember, there are events that come in the command center where they provide shard unlocks. Now, we don't know if this is confirmed yet for any of the Fantastic Four members, but what we've seen already with Halvarine and what was confirmed as well this week with Satana is that these characters come into the command center a week or two after. So that suggests we have a week or two to decide, you know, whether Invisible Woman, and we're going to be able to see if she's going to be coming in the free to play respect from the command center side anyways, because she's the first character. And then likely Mr. Fantastic will be coming in next week as a Red Star and offers introduction, but we just don't know if his shards will be available. So that's where the question marks lie, right? I would right now save as much as you can for the power cores, because we can actually do that right now in terms of preparing for both Franklin and Mr. Fantastic. Whereas Invisible Woman, we will see in the meantime if she's going to be available in some way, shape, or form. Now, even if she isn't, keep in mind, they've been doing a really, really good job of adding the newest characters into the Intel store, right? We have Satana coming this week as well. We have Hood already previously added, and then Halvarine from the previous week. And then we saw in the past as well, obviously Thunderbolts, Vigilante. So they've been exceptional in doing that. That's why right now there's not really a use for the power cores for some of the tunes that we know they're already coming into the game. So that's why it's important to just stay patient, especially if you're free to play like myself and you're just trying to save resources and wait for that moment. Because that moment when Franklin joins in, that is actually when it's going to be a complete flip of all the changing metas that we see, especially if you're climbing the ranks in Arena. Now is the time to hit reset. It doesn't really make sense anymore if you're newer to the game to even build up a team right now for Arena like Annihilators, because Annihilators, although they had their time and they're obviously their spotlight, they're still a really good team, but they're not going to be in the meta. They're going to be pushed out because of this brand new team, right? And that's the one thing to watch out for. If you already built up some of these characters like Annihilators and you're still using them, just know that we still have a few weeks left, but now is the time, especially if you're joining the game Marvel Strike Force, to build the latest and greatest, because that's the meta, right? The newest teams are always the best teams, and that's what we want to be paying attention to. And that's why I want to help you guys save some resources there. So that's my game plan. The next week or two, saving resources, Franklin Richards plus Fantastic Four, and then that's going to be able to allow us to have a really good foundation in not just Arena, but as I alluded to earlier, we can start using some of these characters in the Epic Campaign sections, right? Like Dark Dimension. Heck, they can be utilized for Apocalypse in the battle areas, and as well, more importantly, if you're planning for Professor Xavier's saga as well, we know that we can utilize them in the Cosmic Heroes section with them being slotted in as that battle trait. So just something to be mindful of there, guys. Anyways, that's my 2 cents. That's how I'm going to prepare in the next couple weeks. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.